Hey everyone, and welcome back to part 5 of our Shogun campaign playthrough for Kingdom 2 Crowns. Last time we left things off where we were still on the 3rd island and just building the boat to move on to the 4th island. Tried out the new improved warhorse, wasn't very impressed, so we're back with the stag. For now our only real objective is to just build the boat, so that's all we're doing, making sure we've got enough coins. Need to re-recruit a builder or two. I should probably check how many we've got first. Got 4 around, that looks decent. Probably don't need all of these archers or all these people around to be archers, but there's nothing better for them to be, so we'll just make that happen. Can never have too many archers. And one more builder, why not? So I think this was the start of a new day, but it's not a very nice day, very rainy, so we're going to stay close to the kingdom. That's not really a good reason, I just think it's a bit late in the day to go out and get some more builders killed over by the boat, so we'll save it until the next day. And again, we're in no real rush, so it's not going to be the end of the world if we spend an extra day on this island. I think once we reach the 4th island, we're probably going to try and start taking out portals from there. I did think about maybe leaving that until the 5th island, but there's no real difference between the two and might as well just crack on whilst we're there. Also, we are at day 25 at the moment, so I imagine if we try and get through island 4 and onto 5 before we destroy anything, we're probably going to be hitting a winter shortly after arriving. So it's just going to be a little bit easier if we get set up on island 4 and just get through all of the portals on that one before moving on to island 5. And hopefully we'll be doing that by the time spring comes around, if not a bit sooner. Keep wanting to press one of the buttons to use the abilities from monarchs in Deadlands, which would be very useful here, but obviously that's me just being a bit stupid. So as soon as this wave is dealt with, we're just going to charge out there and get our boat built a bit more. We've got a full pouch of coins, so that should be hopefully more than enough. I think we had quite a few bits built before. Those deer can wait, they're not too important. Okay, so a good chunk of the boat built. We might not have just enough coins. Oh, the large bit at the back, the rudder just dropped down there, which is usually a good indicator that you're relatively close to the last few bits of the boat. But clearly not close enough. So we'll go back and get some more coins. And now we'll grab our deer friends, who also happen to be deer. I miss the merchant. Not just the coins, but the songs too. Or the music at least. We'll probably be waiting till tomorrow to leave anyway, even if we did build the boat, because it would be a little bit late on in the day to get everyone boarded. head out there and see how they're getting on. I imagine they're probably finished by now with the bits we've put out, which is good, and you can see very close to being done. I don't know, it's pretty late in the day. Probably too late to be getting these guys. Why don't they just run back home? We'll risk it, why not? We've already got some archers on the way that will hopefully be able to take out most of the greed, which have spawned, so hopefully these guys get in the boat before the greed get here, and they can shoot the majority of them as they come passing by. And I've got enough coins to pay off the rest anyway, so we should be all good. And that all went a lot better than expected, so we should just have to wait around for these guys. Should be one more hopefully on the way. Maybe not, so we'll just grab any coins that are left over from these hunters. We'll head on our merry way. Oh, that was late in the day. Okay, we'll just go with that then. Hopefully we'll have this deer coming along who will get shot and give us an extra... No. Oh, nailed it. Good job, guys. Okay, on to Island 4 where we can start thinking about destroying some portals. And we mustn't forget our hermit friend. The boat's a lot closer to the camp this time out, which is going to make things a little bit easier for getting that built eventually. Although on this one we are going to want to expand our walls so that we can get catapults and ninjas, so having the boat close isn't really going to make that much of a difference. It's just nice to have it there. Again, we don't really need to worry about building the walls because we'll just get the free ones. We've got enough archers to take out any greed on this first night. So we can just focus on chopping down some trees and clearing some areas, for our hunters. Probably also do a bit of exploring. But we'll... Oh, that's a shame. Leave them to do their thing. It's quite nice to have another camp quite close, or one camp quite close. One of the other things we're going to have to look out for whilst we're exploring here is the stone mine, because we definitely need to grab that. here's the lizard, which we're probably going to want at some point, so I'll just use those gems straight away. Get to see its cool little hatching animation. We'll be back for you later. But for now, we're going to want to just cheese it away from that because we don't want to lose our dog and we've only got 1 coin. Try and grab another deer. Oh, there was another one that I didn't even see. Okay, that should give us a nice chunk of extra coins. So one of the other things about the archery statue is that usually those guys take 3 arrows to kill the deer, but with the archery statue they only take 2. So I'm not quite sure on the percentage damage increase, but you could say that that's going to be at least a 50% increase. But it could be more. Could be up to a 299% increase, but we wouldn't know. Much more likely that it is just sort of a 50%. So we've got some greed on the way, as our dog is so kindly letting us know. Nice chunk of coins as well. And again, a very small wave to start you off on the island, just to ease you into things. Okay, we should fully explore one side, so that is what we're going to do. And I'm going to get my notepad ready whilst I walk. Because it's important to remember where everything is on this island. I mean, it is important on every island, but it definitely helps with the bigger islands not to get mixed up on what is where. We obviously have our lizard friend, and there's a couple of camps, but we don't really need to make a note of that. Don't really have room to grab those gems, so we're going to leave that for now. And that was a smaller island than I was expecting, so still not massive islands, even after the update that supposedly made them a bit bigger. But it's probably just a little bit bigger to make it awkward to charge from your town centre straight out to the end. But yep, one thing to note is the cliff portal. So now that we know that's there, we know that the other side is the dock portal, and that's actually called the living portal. Had no idea it was called that, but you can see that name referenced in the Trade Routes Challenge, and that is the portal they're going for. So yeah, I'm still going to call it the dock portal because that's the side of the island. It's just what I'm used to. So now we can probably just put a few more coins into upgrading our town centre for now. There's no rush to explore the other side. Get some archers, and we'll want to start thinking about where we want to expand to on either side, because although we're not going to have any blood moons coming up soon, when we have the retaliation blood moons from destroying portals, we're definitely going to want to have strong defences. The first few aren't going to cause much of an issue, probably just greedlings and masked greedlings, but it's better to be safe than sorry. We also might want to grab a few farmers just because that's an extra bit of free income. But that's everything for this day. We're probably going to just sit around and wait for the night attack to come, and then we can explore the other side. Probably also worth... Oh, actually... Hopefully we'll have some coins from archers and stuff. But we know we're going to find the... we're going to find the stone mine on this side, the right-hand side of the island. Well, I don't know why I keep saying stone mine, it's the iron mine. And we need to have enough coins for that, which is going to be about 20, so that should give us more than enough. Wonderful. Again, it's quite small waves to deal with on this, so we don't have to worry too much. The only other things on this island are the Night Hermit and the Bear, neither of which are going to be that useful. The Night Hermit just means you can you can upgrade an archery tower into a night tower, and you can recruit an extra knight, but that's not really that necessary. And it uses up a valuable archery tower, as well as probably a bunch of archers who will no longer be able to hunt. So we don't really want to do that. And the Bear isn't great. It's alright, but I'd say the Lizard's better for what it's sort of doing, the more aggressive thing. So all we're really doing is exploring for some chests, and we might as well grab these deer whilst we're about. Don't really need these gems, but we'll grab them. We'll chuck them in the stone coffer that's found at the boat once we've got that unlocked. Here is the bear, so you can see the honey up in the tree and 3 gems. He knows how to live a good life, and we're going to leave him to that. There is the hermit as well. Probably pretty far out. This side of the island is seeming to be quite massive. So we might encounter some greed on the way back, which wouldn't be fun. But we'll just see. Plus there's nowhere really to graze along the way, which is a bit of a pain. Could have gone out to the right hand side and risked getting close to the dock portal, but that would have been potentially a bit too risky. Can always pay off the greed that come through. It's quite early on, so it should be sort of 6 of them or something like that. Got a little bit over eager there, and I've used up all my running. Alright, now we've got a bit more back. We're getting quite close back to the centre. So everything's going to be good. So yeah, there's still definitely enough time to fully explore one side of the island and get back before the greed spawn for a night attack. I mean, it's very close because you can see the portal there. It's probably going to be a lot harder on the 5th island to do that, so probably going to have to be a bit more conservative with exploration. Ooh, that's interesting. Wasn't expecting a blood moon at this point. Well, give us all your coins, lads. They should come from quite far away, so I'm going to risk upgrading the walls a little bit, because that really shouldn't take long to get this level up. Now the dog's supposed to give a heads up of what side it's on, so if we trust him, it's on the left hand side. It looks like they got stuff there, and yeah. Seems to be right. Fortunately, because it's the first blood moon, it is only unmasked greedlings, so it's nothing much to worry about. Okay, so now it's back to business as usual. We'll want to recruit a few more people, so we can go out on the left hand side and do that. And chop down these trees so we've got a bit more space. Now unfortunately, this first camp on the left, you can see there's the area here to build a farm, which would have been nice to be able to have that without getting rid of the camp that's there. That doesn't look possible, so we probably will ignore that as a spot for a farm and just keep the camp, because it's definitely very useful to have a camp close to your base. So we might risk trying to clear from this side and have a camp inside our walls. Sorry, have a farm inside our walls out here. It does look as though there's a wall to build here. Well, there's definitely a wall to build here, but there's a rock there, which would be the base of an archery tower. So it looks as though that would be a pretty decent place to defend. The one issue is it's very close to that portal. So any archers on that side would probably go out and just shoot it straight away. The alternative is we can try and clear to this rock from the left hand side, get our builders to come out and chop the trees this direction. That way we can keep the camp inside our walls, so we can recruit villagers a lot easier, but we'd only be able to have a level 1 farm there, because otherwise our farmers would stay at it overnight and would just get killed every night or lose their tools, so there's no point in doing that. Haven't had a look at the right hand side yet though, or didn't really pay attention whilst we were exploring, so it might be a lot better there for expanding. But for now we'll just focus on these trees. And actually, it was a blood moon, so let's be even more reckless and clear these trees today. So, because it was a blood moon, we should not have any attacks tonight. A natural blood moon, that is. If it was a retaliation blood moon, then the same rules don't apply and we would still have regular attacks afterwards. But the natural blood moons work a little bit differently. I think they're actually called red moons or something like that, officially. But everyone just calls them blood moons. Don't pay a gem to chop down a tree, that would be a bit foolish. So that all lined up quite nicely to have this extra time to chop down the trees without threat of greed. That's going to make expanding on this side a lot easier. So we'll get those guys out there quite early on tomorrow and probably try and expand straight away. It's just going to take a little bit of time to get those, or for those trees to despawn around the area. And by that I mean in the background, you can see there's sort of a forest background out there. And whilst that's about, if you go too far in then you can't chop down any trees, so we've had to wait for that to clear. Didn't take too long though, which is nice, and we can get our builders working on these again. But for now, that's about time on this episode, so we're going to leave it there and we'll pick this up and expand our kingdom next time. If you're looking for more tips and guides, then check out some of my other videos. But until then, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.